5 overall, 3-3 in conference after losing to their rivals Virginia here on Thursday. An electric atmosphere as we tip it off from Castle Coliseum. Louisville Cardinals in the house. Jeff Walz and his team coming in playing some of their best basketball. This young Cardinal team having won the last 6 ACC games. Travel though on the first possession as Jada Curry drags her foot. Starting 5 for the Hokies, Lani White, the transfer from Utah, Carleigh, Wenzel, Rose Misha, Karis Baker, Matilda Eck, all players who chose to stay here at Virginia Tech with all of the change in the offseason. Kenny Brooks departing, as well as some of the biggest players in program history, and Kitley graduating and Amor moving on. Megan Duffy taking over her first year with the Hokies, 8th year overall after spending the last 5 at Marquette. Was named the 2020 Big East Coach of the Year. Nyla Harris committing the foul puts Carleigh Wenzel on the free throw line.
And Jen, can't say enough about what Megan Duffy's done here in year 1 to lose so many key pieces. Obviously, Liz Kitley, the main one, and Georgia Amor, and just so many other pieces that did so much for Virginia Tech. And to rebuild with a lot of players that just hadn't been in these big roles. And they're right here on the bubble, on the cusp of getting an NCAA tournament bid.
Starting lineup for the Cardinals, Nyla Harris, Jalea Williams, a transfer from Miami, Tajiana Roberts, the 3-time ACC Rookie of the Week, Jada Curry, and Olivia Cochran on the inside. Off the glass, it's good for Nyla Harris.
That's a matchup that Louisville's going to look to exploit. Right now, Virginia Tech, a somewhat smaller lineup, Karis Baker playing the 4. And so can she guard Nyla Harris and stay in front of her? That's a big matchup to keep an eye on. Right there, Nyla Harris in the passing lanes and a great defensive play.
Jeff Walz has had to exercise some patience with this young team. 8 freshmen who have played for him this season. It's been a lot of teaching, a lot of growing pains, but someone who certainly has tasted success and knows how to get the best out of his players. He's gonna be frustrated though, another turnover will give it back to the Hokies.
And 2 completely unforced errors for Louisville, 2 travels called. But because it's a dead ball turnover, does give Louisville time to set up their pressure. They're gonna press and apply different types of defensive pressure all game.
And Virginia Tech taking care of the basketball is going to be one of the big keys in this game. Curry nearly got her hand on it to take it away. 15 on the shot clock for Eck. Wenzel, leading scorer for this Hokie team, misses everything, and Cochran rips it away before Misha can get her hands to it. Cochran thought about the 3 perhaps. Plenty of time to work the offense. And nothing doing.
I know Jeff Walz wants Jada Curry to be aggressive and look for her shot, but that there, she did not really have a good look. Got to pass the ball, keep the offense going.
Lani White over to Misha. Played so big for this Virginia Tech team who had won 3 in a row before that loss to Virginia on Thursday.
Matilda Eck, a big part of Virginia Tech's regular season ACC championship team from last year, probably played the biggest role of any players that are left here on this roster. That was a good take by her to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim.
Jalea Williams pulls up to go over Eck. Cardinals coming in a bit cold to this one. White, crowd loves it.
What a job by Lani White to back up, make sure she was beyond the 3-point line, make herself available, and let it fly.
Megan Duffy told us at Shoot Around today she wants her team to use this environment, use the energy that this crowd is going to bring on Liz Kitley night. Team had a chance to meet with Kitley last night. Of course, she's here for the game. The defense stuffs it, takes it back.
That is great defense by Matilda Eck, using her angles, using her size, no foul, really good play.
Hokies have won 3-0 in the series against the Cardinals. The last 3, I should say. It'll stay on this end, 9 seconds on the shot clock.
And Carleigh Wenzel, really good vision to find Lani White, and she got her feet behind the three-point line. Jen, maybe in a different era of basketball, 10 years ago, Lani White would have been running to the rim, and Wenzel would have found her for a layup. But this is the new world. This is 2025. Lani White gets her feet behind the three-point line, and you get 3 from that possession instead of 2.
Misha, you can tell the Hokies want to get her going inside. Hasn't been able to establish that yet. They'll keep it. Shot clock doesn't reset, though. 6 seconds for Virginia Tech.
Got to be aware here. 6 seconds. You should have a play that you know you can get a quick shot from in your baseline out of bounds.
Baker cutting through the lane. Louisville was ready for it, and then Misha picks it up, just like they drew it up, right?
Sometimes the ball finds you. You just got to go up with it.
7-0 Hokie run as they now lead it 9-2. Can the Cardinals get things clicking on offense? This team that has found its footing after being absolutely demolished by NC State in their ACC opener. They've won their last 6 conference games. Cochran driving the lane, gets herself some space.
Really good take by Olivia Cochran. I think Louisville has an advantage inside with Nyla Harris and Olivia Cochran, especially those two with their size and speed. They've got to attack the rim and be aggressive.
Cochran's playing a lot of games in a Louisville uniform, second all-time for the grad student. Pretty balanced scoring attack for the Cardinals. She averages 10 points per game. Basket attempt is waved off. Fouls on the floor as Wenzel again is causing problems for the Louisville defense. Williams getting called for the foul.
Wenzel's been very aggressive, Jen. She's been getting downhill, putting the ball on the floor, and putting a lot of pressure on that Louisville defense.
Misha had to look there if she wanted it, but she was looking to pass. She got it to the hot hand, Lani White.
Lani White getting the crowd going. 2 threes for her early in this one.
I mean, she shoots a great percentage, Kelly. About 48% from 3. Doesn't have as many attempts as some of her teammates, but so far, she's looking good. Short pull-up from Harris is short. Wenzel, defense stepped away. Roberts. It's been the best of this freshman class for Jeff Walz, but that is an offensive foul. Nothing doing right now for Louisville as Virginia Tech up 8.
Win streak when they won 3 in a row. They were shooting the ball really well. Overall, in their 12 wins this season, they're shooting 40% from beyond the arc. So the recipe for success for Virginia Tech involves shooting a good percentage from 3.
A couple of those wins on the road, by the way, at Miami and at Georgia Tech. This possession just thrown away, a little miscommunication. And Megan Duffy told us, look, I've seen glimpses from this team. We've been really good. We can play with anybody. We've seen that, saw that in that game against Georgia Tech for sure. But the consistency is not quite there yet. They've been able to put it together consistently through a stretch of games, through a full 40 minutes of a game. Nice pull-up from Curry.
And a player who has been consistent recently is Jada Curry. She's been great, along with Taj Roberts for Louisville in this 7-game win streak. Those two together can really fill it up.
Curry wasn't even starting, was injured, missed the first couple of games this year, and then was coming off the bench for the Cardinals. But yeah, on the 7-game win streak, averaging nearly 13 points per game. Misha had the double team ready for the pass inside. Good defense by the Cardinals. Can they turn it into some offense? Marissa Russell came in off the bench, a little out of control there as she drives, but does draw the foul.
Olivia Cochran with a big play inside. Marissa Russell also altering that shot on help side, and Olivia Cochran with a really good play to just grab that basketball. And this is something to watch in this game. Marissa Russell comes off the bench for Louisville. Louisville gets a lot more production from their bench than Virginia Tech does. How will that impact this ball game?
Yeah, more depth. There are more players that Jeff Walz feels comfortable going to. And as you said, more production, almost, well, just over 27 bench points per game for this Cardinal team. That's amongst the best in the ACC. Well, the offensive rebound on the missed free throw gives the Cardinals another chance. It'll be a short one, though, as it is Out of bounds for another turnover.
And because of that lack of depth for the Hokies, Coach Duffy, Karis Baker picked up her first foul, and Baker's already on the bench. So she doesn't want to mess with that, does not want to allow one of her key contributors to get 2 fouls in this first quarter.
Misha being guarded by Cochran. Eck. 4 points in the game for Matilda Eck.
Eck's floater game is really improved from last year. Just her ability to put the ball on the floor is so much better than it was last year to keep the defense honest.
Cochran. Misha pulling down the rebound. Wenzel. Kayl Petersen, 6-foot freshman from Wisconsin, on the floor, and the lane opens up for Misha.
Great pass inside to Misha. Jeff Walls wants to talk to his team. Not thrilled with not been great. Wenzel, Lani White have been able to get the looks that they want. And yeah, for Jeff Walls, he always says, defense is our bread and butter. We may not shoot the ball that well on a certain night. We may not be the best offensive team in the league, but we have to guard. And Louisville is not doing a great job of that so far.
Statistically, the Cardinals, even on this win streak, as Williams gets around the corner for 2. Their field goal percentage defense, 3-point percentage defense, both ranking toward the bottom of the conference so far.
They've been turning teams over, though. That's the difference for Louisville. They have 10 steals per game in this 7-game win streak. A great take by Jalea Williams. They're turning teams over, and they're shooting the ball well themselves. They're turning their defense into offense. Haven't really been able to do that so far today.
And that, my friends, is almost automatic. Jalea Williams from the free throw line gets the 3-point play that time. Hasn't been that way throughout most of the season. She's just about 55% from the line, surprising. Crowd liking the fight for the rebound. It's called a jump ball. Oh, you gotta love a packed Castle Coliseum. Energy abounds.
They call a jump ball on this play. I'm not sure if both players truly had possession long enough for that to be a jump ball, but ball goes Louisville's way.
It was Mackenzie Nelson on the drive. She and Petersen both on the floor off the Virginia Tech bench. It's kept alive here for Louisville. It'll stay with the Cardinals under the basket.
That was a good rebound and defensive possession from Kayl Petersen. It's a lot to ask of a true freshman. Petersen, 6 foot, who's in there playing effectively the 5 position right now, or the 4. Karis Baker playing the 5, and this is Virginia Tech because they don't have as much depth. They've got to go a bit smaller. So these two have to hold their own until Misha gets back in the game.
That's a good inbounds play, finished off by Russell, her first points of the game. White, a little inside the 3-point line this time. Has hit 2 triples already. Williams is ready to go. Wanted to go with her left. Good hustle defensively. Nelson, the freshman. And this crowd, maybe a little assistance as the referees had their conference to see which direction the ball would go. Can't hurt. Doesn't influence them, but it can't hurt to try. That does go off
That's
Williams.
a good call.
It is.
That is the right call. It ended up going off Williams' chest. It's a great call by the official. Let's shout her out, by the way, Tiara Cruz. She's the one who was in on that and got that correct.
Tiara Cruz, Kevin Sparrow, Jeff Wooten, the 3 officials for this game today. She's got some speed, doesn't she, getting across the baseline. It's kicked. A reset of the shot clock to 20.
And that's what they really like about Mackie Nelson. She's a great athlete, can get downhill, can guard, and they're bringing her along. She can come in and give a spell, give a break to a Lani White or a Carleigh Wenzel.
Isela Arenas, daughter of Gilbert Arenas, on the floor for Louisville now defensively. Just over a minute to go in the first quarter. Misha can't get the roll. Hokies have led by as many as 10 in this game. Louisville's cut it in half. Russell made a move and then was able to draw the foul. See if they get Misha for that. I think that is who's called for the foul, her first.
And they're counting the basket on that one as well, which I think is the correct call. What a shot. What a play by Marissa Russell to take that contact and be able to get a shot, to have the presence of mind to get the shot off, right? To at least get 2 free throws. And then for that ball to go in. What a crazy shot.
Yeah, that's almost feels like a bonus, right? With the way that play went down, but now a chance for a 3-point play. And a 2-point game.
An 8-0 run here for Louisville. After Jeff Walz called that timeout, his team has really responded.
What's been better?
I think a lot of things have been better. First and foremost, defensively. They have not allowed Virginia Tech's guards to get where they want to go, to get in the paint, make plays, and get to the rim. That's where it's all started.
And we talked about defense, too. Virginia Tech had made 6 of their first 8 before that timeout. They're 0 of their last 3 since that time. Russell committing the foul here. Her first. Reminder to stick around. We will have Liz Kitley coming over to join us. Get a chance to hear from her on her big day as her jersey will be retired at halftime here at Castle. And Misha just went flying sky high trying to get the rebound. Foul was called against the Cardinals on the play.
Rose Misha, she is relentless on the boards. That's something that always stands out to me when I watch her on film. I was watching that Virginia game, getting ready for this game. She's flying out of nowhere trying to grab rebounds. That is something that every team needs. It's so important. She can score even when you're not running things for her through offensive boards.
5 points in the game for Misha. And coming up next, our quadruple header here in ACCN today. You don't want to miss Olivia Miles in action ever as third-ranked Notre Dame hosts SMU. I know you know what that environment is like at Purcell Pavilion as our Nothing But Net crew is there live on Thursday night.
Got to beware of the time.
It's about to expire and does before the Cardinals can get the shot off. Louisville, though, fighting back in this one, but on Liz Kitley's day, it is the Hokies.
Retired at halftime. Can you even comprehend that that's happening? Like, what are your emotions leading into that?
Like, no, not at all. Like, I feel like I'm just having a big family reunion, which is really nice, but the fact that everyone's here kind of to celebrate something that I've done is super surreal, and I think it's something that'll take years and years to sink in fully, but I'm grateful for the opportunity now, and I'm happy that I just get to see all of my loved ones together.
I heard Ivory Latta talking in studio earlier, and she was asked if she would give you any advice for your jersey retirement ceremony because she got pretty emotional during hers, and she said, no, I would want her to be emotional. Do you think you will be?
I have no idea, honestly. Like, I'm a really emotional person, so it's definitely going to hit me at some point, but I don't know if I'm like buzzing from excitement too much for it to hit me, but we'll find out in like 20 minutes.
We will, yes. Just stay tuned. We're going to air that on ACC Network so everybody can see that who's watching this game. Liz, maybe update some people. I mean, we know you were drafted by the Aces. You were doing your rehab, of course, from the ACL. So how are you feeling? How's that going?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. I mean, I don't know if you just saw me, but I ran over to get the glasses and I ran back. So, yeah, my top speed's getting pretty high. So be scared.
Well, another thing that we have noticed is that even when you weren't moving as fast, when you were in crutches and Megan Duffy was announced as the head coach, you were right there at her introductory press conference, and she has talked about what your support has meant to her. What have you seen from her and from this program now that they've had to undergo a lot of big changes?
Yeah, I mean, so many things have changed. The style of play is so different. The personnel is obviously different, but I'm so proud of the way they've fought back through it all and continued to, pursue those wins. I think, just for example, the Georgia Tech game when they beat them at Georgia Tech, I was screaming on my bed in Vegas. Like, I'm just like so in it all the games, and I believe in them so much. And seeing Mackie fall, like, I want to get up and scream right now. Like, I'm like so into it. But I just believe in this program so much, and it's cool to see them succeed.
And here's Mackenzie Nelson, one of your former teammates. I love the growth from her. And we were talking with Rose Mishaw, what she learned from you, kind of being behind you, if you will, last year. She said she learned how to work hard. She said she learned how to handle adversity, handle double. Obviously, you were handling double teams, but saw you handle that. What does it mean when you hear Rose say something like that about you?
I mean, it's really cool. I think, you know, in those times I'm so focused, but also I think I've done a pretty good job of being aware of my teammates in those situations. And for her to say that and acknowledge that means a lot to me, because I feel like what I did was worthwhile and it meant more than just me. And I hope I've left my impact on this program as a whole, because it goes so much bigger than me. It's everyone in here. Being able to, you know, bring so many people into Castle and have them support this group of girls is awesome, because they're so special. And I love Rose so much. It's been awesome to see her succeed.
Yeah, I've had a similar feeling just watching her this year, getting her opportunity, making the most of it. And as this game continues to go up and down, it's a tight one here. Virginia Tech still up by 3. I have to ask you, I'm hoping we can see it on the camera here. Well, what about the bobblehead, Liz? This is a hot commodity here in Blacksburg. What do you think of it?
Is it? Yeah, I special requested like multiple boxes in my car. So if you guys want one, hit me up. I have a few extra.
Good to know. I'm gonna just
I think it looks pretty good, Liz. I mean, sometimes they don't get it right, but I think they did a pretty good job.
Okay, perfect. That's all that
we'll
matters.
take it.
Your opinion is all I care about.
Shot clock violation that time is a Virginia Tech defense. There it is. There we can see this.
What do we think?
You think?
I think it's pretty close. I think they did a good job.
Pretty good job.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I have to ask one more, maybe not completely on topic question. Have you
Awesome.
talked to Caitlin since she sat in Taylor's box?
Listen, this is a really touchy subject for me. It's hard for me to process everything that's happened over the last 24 hours, but you know, I'm happy for her. It's hard to see people live your dreams, but I'm supportive.
That would be Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I thought that
sitting
was
together
obvious,
at
but thank
the-
you, Jen. That was a good heads up there.
We're not on the same page. All right. Well, I think all the family is here, right? Are
Everyone.
they emotional? Raven has her wig. Is she ready to go?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it was a debate whether or not she'd wear the wig, which I think is so ridiculous. So I'm so glad that she's in it. And you know my dad, he's a big baby, so he's definitely going to cry. We'll see if that gets my tears flowing, probably. Oh, yeah, there she is. Oh, she's beautiful.
She's probably watching you right now. She probably has ACC Network pulled up, is watching it on her phone.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Offensive foul called on that last play. That was
Yeah,
a lot.
Mackie. She's taking a beating, my girl.
Mackie Nelson, the redshirt freshman, part of the team last year.
Come on, Carleigh.
Go ahead and give us some play-by-play, Liz.
Yeah,
We
go
want
Yes,
on.
come on, Carleigh. Give me that. Shoot. I have to watch my language.
I want to say very good job watching what you say. Microphone is live.
Thank
Liz
you.
Kitley joining us here as her number 33 jersey is going to be hung from the rafters here at Castle at halftime. We will have coverage of that for you. Liz, I don't even know if we can fit all of your records on one
We're
screen.
gonna try.
We might try, but this is why when you talk about the type of career, I mean, this is pretty rare to be able to come back and have your jersey retired so quickly. But look, you left no doubt, my friend, with all of that.
Oh my gosh, the Vegas, that's crazy.
We got the Las Vegas jersey in the stands.
That's what
too?
you noticed after from this
Sorry,
graphic that we
it's hard for me to discuss those things.
Liz, take us in just as a player. Louisville has been such a great program in this league, right?
Yeah.
And you guys kind of had to get over that hump, and then you did.
Totally.
What's it like playing Louisville? Like, talk us through kind of that mindset and maybe some keys when you play Louisville.
Yeah, I think especially Louisville the last few years, they've had such different weapons. Like I think, you know, with us, we were a little bit more predictable in our offense, but Louisville was always a little bit harder to predict who was going to go off because it could be so many different people on different nights. I think it's also really cool that they've retained, you know, a lot of the same players, and also adding Williams is such an incredible addition. Like she gave us heck at Miami. So, I mean, they're always scrappy. They're always physical. They play with a lot of passion. I mean, Cochran is always going to bring that. So we always had a fun time playing her. But I think that our team matches that better this year also. I think their styles are a little bit more similar. So it's really cool to see. And I'm really proud of the way they're performing so far.
Yeah, Barry with the miss there that time for Louisville. Still just a 3-point advantage here. Misha with Kitley on the edge of her seat as she goes to the basket. Tell you what, points have been hard to come by here.
Since Liz joined, no one wants to score. That's been the
I need to get out of here.
the pattern here.
Yes, Chili. This is fun. I need to join you guys more.
Yeah, hey Liz, ever thought about
Always.
broadcasting? Let us know.
Shoot.
Open invite. And now you get to celebrate as Rose Misha does get a hard-earned 2 more points. She's got 7 in the game. Have you been back before this one? Have you been this season?
I haven't been to a game in Castle. I saw them play in Charlotte, which was a completely different atmosphere, but being in Castle, there's nothing like it. So I'm really happy to see the support that they're getting, and the fact that people are still showing up for them is awesome because they really deserve it, and I love them so much. Get the rebound. Yes, Rose.
I was going to say, on that note, I mean, look at what you have helped build, because this wasn't the norm, Liz, before, when you came.
No, back
it
in
didn't
my
look
day,
like
Liz,
this.
when we played at Virginia Tech, this was not how it looked.
Yeah, no, it's completely different, and I honestly, to be honest, I was a little skeptical of how the crowds would be after, we left and the coaching change and everything, and I'm actually really, really proud of the way the fan base has stuck with this program. Yes, Carleigh. And I'm so proud of these girls because they're embracing the spotlight, and I love Carleigh so much. And sometimes, when you get in front of a crowd like this and you're not used to it, it can affect you negatively, but all of these girls I was so positive would react in a positive way, and they definitely have. Lani pointed to us after her first made 3. Not everyone has that in them, but they just have it in them, and it's really, really cool to see. And hopefully, the people will continue to come time and time again because they fight really, really hard, and it's fun to watch. Yes!
Yeah, this
Kayl.
defense is bringing it right now. Louisville has gone over 4.5 minutes without scoring.
That's my girl. 16 points, 4 minutes left. Let's go. Yes!
And more points on the inside. This time it's Kayl Petersen. Jeff Walls needs a timeout, and that means we're going to see Kayl Petersen in there for Megan Duffy.
She's been impressive. She's been holding her own inside. I talked about how that would be an interesting matchup. Nyla Harris has 2 fouls, so we haven't seen much from her. That's allowed Petersen to do a little more work. Karis Baker also with 2 fouls, so she's on the bench for the Hokies.
So what would you say is priority number 1 right now for Louisville?
They've got to find a way, which is what they've done in their 7-game win streak. They've got to find a way to force some turnovers, get some easy looks. Right now, Virginia Tech is making them play in the half court, and everything feels condensed and difficult. They've got to find a way to get out in the open floor.
Cochran finds Roberts, who has 2 points, both of those coming from the free throw line. They'll stay with Louisville. Shot clock resets after it did hit the rim. So 20 seconds for the Cardinals under the basket. Marissa Russell, the player leading the way for the Cards, off the bench with 5 points. Three points in the game for Jalea Williams. Picked up her dribble. Curry, such a quick step on that move to the basket.
Wow, the body control from Jada Curry to find a way to flip that ball over her head and to draw the foul. She does have such a quick step, and you have to respect her 3-ball, so you have to stay up on her, and then she gets to the rim. Wow, what a play.
The force that she drew, able to get the foul called on Wenzel, and then the finesse on the finish. Pretty. 5 points in the game for Jada Curry.
And that's now 2 fouls on Carleigh Wenzel. That is a big pickup for Virginia Tech. Can they go the next 3:47 without her from a ball handling perspective and all that Carleigh Wenzel means to this team?
Now she's on the bench at the moment as Misha went into the double team, was able to draw the foul. She'll go to the free throw line. Rose Misha earning those ACC Player of the Week honors was just sensational. In a couple of those wins for Virginia Tech, double-double in the win at Georgia Tech, and then 20 points again in the win against Wake Forest. Men's hoops come your way on ACC Network on Wednesday. Chase Hunter and Clemson hosting J.J. Starling and Syracuse at 7 Eastern, and then Tamir Watkins and Florida State will square off against Andre Stojakovic and Cal. Clemson right now, by the way, everybody's talking about Duke, as you understand, on the men's side, but Clemson right behind them.
Yes, Clemson, they're playing great ball on the men's side. Chase Hunter hit a ridiculous 3 in that Pittsburgh game to help the Tigers pull it out.
Foul on the play as Curry feels like she's taking a little bit on her shoulders right now, Kelly.
She is putting game pressure of foul trouble on Virginia Tech, and that is big, as Rose Mishaw now has 2 fouls as well.
And this is the player who truly is automatic from the free throw line. Leads the ACC, just under 95% on the season. In the 7-game winning streak for Louisville, Curry 20 for 21 from the free throw line.
So impressive. That's really hard to do. You think, oh, she's a great shooter. Of course she could be good from the free throw line, but there's a reason why only a few people every year shoot high 90% from the free throw line.
White, few big threes early. This time she gets the 2 to rattle home.
Much needed bucket for Virginia Tech. They've got to find a way to survive until halftime with so many key figures on the bench.
Wenzel, Mishaw, both with 2 fouls on the bench for the Hokies right now. And this is going to be a kicking foul, actually attributed to Jalea Williams as she was on the floor. That's her second personal.
While she was on the floor, Matilda Eck was grabbing the rebound. They're going to say that Jalea Williams kicked Eck, but I did not. I saw maybe a little contact at the beginning, but then Jalea Williams more just fell out of no contact. So that, I'm not sure I like that call.
Russell going for the steal, has to retreat now to get back defensively. White, don't leave her open. This time it's off the mark. Since making their first couple of threes, Virginia Tech has lost the touch of downtown. Russell continues to lead the way for Louisville.
And there's Louisville getting out and running a little bit, getting some easy looks to get back in this game as we get closer to halftime.
Well, Louisville hasn't led, and Virginia Tech has led by as many as 10, but as Kelly's pointed out, this is a really crucial stretch with some key figures on the bench for the Hokies. Eck looked to pass at the last moment to Karis Baker, who's been awfully quiet in this game so far. No points for Baker, 4 points for Eck.
Jada Curry just took that charge on Matilda Eck. And now that's 2 fouls on Eck. So 4 of Virginia Tech's 5 starters have 2 fouls. That is really tough for a team that does not have a lot of depth. Virginia Tech is bringing in Wells, who hasn't played yet in this game. She's going to have to ride it out till halftime. But that was a great play by Jada Curry. Jada Curry continues to draw fouls and put that pressure on Virginia Tech.
And you can bet Louisville very much aware of the situation. They're going to keep going at this Virginia Tech team. Curry gets it over to Cochran acrobatically. Extra effort on the assist, but was about to say Louisville didn't get back, but Taj Roberts did indeed get back just enough to affect that shot. She is called for the foul. That's 2 on Roberts.
I love that pass earlier from Jada Curry. Virginia Tech had just gone to a zone, trying to avoid foul trouble, trying to just switch things up. And that didn't stop Jada Curry from attacking the rim. I love the aggressiveness that we've seen from Curry. 7 points, 2 assists so far in this one.
Yeah, we talked to Jada Curry earlier today, and she knows she has a big role to play on this Louisville team this year as one of the seniors when they have 8 freshmen who have played 9 on the roster. She knows she needs to help carry them in moments like this. And now the lead back to 5 for Virginia Tech. Just over a minute to go here in the first half from Castle Coliseum in Blacksburg. Mackenzie Randolph inside working with Cochran, who takes it now for Louisville. Still no go. Finally, Russell puts it away.
Marissa Russell has given Louisville some excellent minutes off the bench. Tied for their leading scorer. Just the energy that she's brought the second she's entered the game, Jen. That's been special.
Yeah, she's been big on both ends, honestly. And speaking of big, how excited was Liz Kitley when Mackie Nelson was going to work when Liz was joining us here earlier this quarter, and now Nelson has a chance for the 3-point play.
Mackie Nelson, yeah, you talk about how excited Liz was. This is a player who redshirted last year. We didn't see much from her. And the reason they call a block here is because Jada Curry was not there in time before Mackie Nelson left the floor. You have to be set before the offensive player leaves the floor for it to be called a charge.
It's the first foul on Curry. That looked like it could have been called a little extra on Russell after the fact. That's what has the crowd here making some noise. There was no foul called on the play, and Marissa Russell, for her part, is maybe claiming there was a bit of embellishment on Virginia Tech's part. Either way, we play on. 5-point Virginia Tech lead. Hokies trying to get back in the win column after losing to Virginia on Thursday night. A Virginia team that, by the way, very nearly took down NC State earlier today. The Wolfpack had to fight tooth and nail to get the victory in that one.
Can't afford a turnover here if you're Virginia Tech. Got to find a way to get the last shot in this half.
There's a lot of contact there as Louisville dropped the double team. It is Isela Arenas who's called for the foul. That is her second.
And that is a very consequential foul there for Louisville. Virginia Tech looked out of sorts. The defense was working. You can't afford to foul and put Nelson on the free throw line and have a chance for Virginia Tech to score. Jeff Walls obviously frustrated with that situation.
7.6 seconds, all we have left in the first half, and it was a sellout here today in Castle. Those seats are continuing to fill as this crowd anticipates what's to come at halftime, where they get to honor the greatest to ever play here at Virginia Tech, Liz Kitley, the queen of the castle herself. And we will have that coverage for you right here on ACCN at halftime. Louisville, maybe one last shot here before the halftime buzzer sounds. Williams, no go, and Virginia Tech, Kelly, will take the lead into halftime.
A great start by Virginia Tech, even with fouls at list for Louisville as well. So foul trouble will, without a doubt, factor into this game in this second half.
Louisville's been flying high, having won 7 in a row, 6 of those in ACC play. Can they find that groove a little bit more after not so hot shooting in the first half? Have yet to hit a three, just 31% from the floor. Offensive rebound from Cochran is a good way to start.
Great rebound from Olivia Cochran. That's part of what she does. She's such a good offensive rebounder. And now Louisville with Nyla Harris back in there as well. They should rebound the ball better in the second half if both their bigs can stay on the floor.
Yeah, I know that was an area you felt that Louisville would have an advantage, was on the inside, and we haven't really seen that play out yet.
Part of it was the Nyla Harris foul trouble. Part of it was, I thought Kayl Petersen came in and gave Virginia Tech some really good minutes. Rose Mishaw did as well, but for me, if I'm Jeff Walls, I'm really emphasizing the paint in this second half. There's so much foul trouble across the board. Virginia Tech doesn't have depth. I'm trying to pound it in the paint to my posts as much as possible.
He's trusting his freshman right now, too. Taj Roberts stays on the floor despite having just picked up her third foul. She got her hands to the ball there, taps it out of play. So Virginia Tech will have 12 seconds once they get it back in. Louisville coming into the day was just a second team to get to 6 conference wins after Notre Dame. Eck drains the three.
You give Matilda Eck just a sliver of daylight, and she is going to let that ball fly.
Cochran. Curry had some moments where she was really taking the reins and leading this Louisville team in the first half. That shot was affected, no doubt, by the defense.
It's a tough shot for Jada Curry. With her size, that's going to be tough to get off in the first place. And then she's taking a long two. It's just not a good shot. She's got to find a way to keep the ball moving.
Here is Lani White, player we highlighted. 10 points in the first half, already over her average of 9. 8 as Wenzel's shot is off, but it's a foul called on Curry. That's her second. This could be a battle of attrition here between these two teams, the way the fouls have been going.
It really is, and you'd think that would benefit Louisville, but now with Jada Curry and Taj Roberts, their two primary scorers dealing with foul trouble, that could be a big issue. And they're calling, what they called on that play, I believe, was that Jada Curry didn't let Wenzel come down. It was in her space when she was coming down after letting the ball fly.
Carleigh Wenzel leads this Virginia Tech team in scoring this year. The redshirt sophomore averaging just over 14 points per game. Megan Duffy said her first priority when she took over, it was a wild time after what this program had accomplished, all the change. First job was to keep those players here. Cochran, well, she seems to have come out with a real head full of steam in this third quarter. White quickly down the floor for Virginia Tech. And she is fouled by Cochran, the one starter for Louisville who really had not been in foul trouble. Now that's her first.
That was a great pass by Jada Curry. And then Louisville not really getting back. I think the plan was to pick up. Julia Williams was trying to go pick up the ball, but Virginia Tech pushed the pace, was able to get to the rim.
Virginia Tech has used the free throw line to their advantage pretty well this season. They shoot a good percentage. They get there quite a bit. Cochran and Misha battling in the paint right now for positioning. Arenas back into the game for Louisville off the bench. Looking for Cochran, and Misha's got a pretty long reach, as she just showed you there, getting out to her fingertips to tap that ball away.
Really good play by Misha. The athleticism that she showed there to be able to get out, get her hand on that ball as a post player is impressive.
7 seconds on the shot clock.
Louisville's had a few instances where it feels like they don't know how much time is left, so they've got to be really aware here and get a shot off.
Williams driving on Eck. It's a blocking foul. So it's going to be the third on Eck. And that'll send Eck to the bench and Mackie Nelson back onto the floor.
Both teams are just getting downhill and getting to the rim. And there was a lot of contact on that play. Obviously, Eck wasn't set. That's why I think they called the foul on her, but also a little push-off for Julia Williams. This has just been a physical basketball game, Jen. The fouls show us that, but yes, it's been physical inside.
Louisville has been pretty productive in this game from the free throw line. They're 8 of 11, and they get the steal. Arenas' active hands there, helping to press for her team, disrupt this Virginia Tech team as they look to move it up the floor. And does Virginia Tech need a little more from Karis Baker? It's such a breakout year in terms of contributing, plays the most minutes on this team. Wenzel drops in 2 more, but no points in the game yet for Karis Baker. Average is 11.
Yeah, it's a great point, Jen. She hasn't even taken a shot. She got in that early foul trouble. That's part of it, but other players are really stepping up offensively for Virginia Tech.
So can you be disciplined defensively, defend without fouling, and yet still be aggressive when you need to? That's the challenge for a lot of players on both teams right now. And there's a foul before the ball even gets in play.
That's at least the second moving screen that has been called on Louisville. And not only is it a turnover, but it's another foul.
And that's the third on Arenas. Misha. Curry got her hand in there to help take it away with Cochran defending. After a rough start to ACC play, Louisville looking to continue to ascend. This program knows nothing but top 5 finishes since they've joined the league. Want to keep that rolling here in 2025 as Williams finds the basket.
When I asked Jeff Walz about Julia Williams, he called her a special athlete, and that's what she is. She's an incredible athlete, such a good defender. I like how she's been more aggressive for Louisville during this 7-game win streak and has really tried to contribute more offensively by getting to the rim.
No foul called on that play as Misha is now in double digits with 10. And the lead is back to 10 for Virginia Tech. That equals their largest lead of the game. And that's the third on Misha.
This was a crazy play as Jada Curry gets to the rim, and the ball is just blocked into Olivia Cochran's hands. As a fan of the game, I would prefer that foul not called. There was really no contact. She was straight up. She didn't break the plane. You want to see the best players stay on the floor. If you're going to call a third foul on Rose Misha, let's make it something where there's a lot of contact.
Cochran at the free throw line. 9 points in the game. Graduate student from Columbus, Georgia. One of 2 1,000-point scorers on the Louisville team along with Curry. Can she continue to assert herself, Cochran, in this game? Try to get an advantage. Harris still on the floor with her. Those two haven't had a ton of minutes together due to Harris's foul trouble. And Virginia Tech get out of a tough spot on the floor. They do. Wenzel was maybe more open than she thought. Curry looking up the floor. Arenas up and over the defense. Offensive rebound is out of bounds, but it'll stay under the basket with Louisville.
It's a good take by Arena. She's just a freshman. She's the other true freshman who's really getting a lot of minutes today for Louisville. Got to finish it, but still a good take in the open floor.
3 from the corner, around and out. Lani White, as Megan Duffy told us, she might try to move Carleigh Wenzel off the ball a little bit more, kickstart her scoring some, take some of the load off of her shoulders. Wenzel, good look to Kayl Petersen. You don't get much more open than that.
That looks like what Georgia Amor and Liz Kitley used to run. Pick and roll action and a pick and pop. Georgia Amor would create all that action and then kick it out to her post player. I've seen that before in this gym, Jen.
Cochran, Louisville answers. 8 points in this quarter for Cochran.
How did Karis Baker save that ball? I thought that ball was going out for sure.
Well, she still has it now, using a little momentum to her advantage. That's a blocking foul. As Karis Baker making some noise here at Castle.
We talked about how Karis Baker had to get going for Virginia Tech. You've got the Kayl Petersen bucket there, and then how about Karis Baker? To the rim through contact. We'll be back after this. Win for Virginia Tech, not just from an ACC perspective, but from an NCAA tournament perspective. Right now they're on the bubble per Charlie Green. They're the last team in. I know it's only January 19th, but hey, we got to talk about this. And so a win like this would be massive for Virginia Tech as they continue to try to build that resume and make the NCAA tournament in Megan Duffy's first year. And then for Louisville, they're trying to rise up. I would have considered, I think I will consider ranking Louisville again in my AP poll if they're able to continue to win this game and a few more, because they're playing such better basketball than they did at the beginning of the season. Now this game, they've struggled a bit, obviously, but you got to give Louisville a lot of credit for how they've really been able to kind of turn that ship around from where the non-conference went.
A tough non-conference schedule too, Jeff Walz admitting. Perhaps a little bit too tough with 8 freshmen who have played for him, which, by the way, ties for the most in the country. Those 8 freshmen. So are there going to be some growing pains? Yes. Do you hope that by the time you get to January, you've gone through most of them? Yes, but he will always tell you this team still has a long way to go. A lot to learn as they continue to move through this season. Curry. Offensive rebound. Arena's getting some good minutes, but out there with 4 fouls. It's like Elif Istanbuloglu also on the floor for the Cards. Turn it over on that possession.
And Jen, we've talked about coming into this game how important the 3-ball was for Virginia Tech, that in their 12 wins, they've shot 40% from 3. They're 3 for 8 tonight. Louisville's yet to make a free. I think that's been a big part of the issues here for Louisville.
Well, take that one off the board for the freshman Layla Wells, who she made the 3. She did her part, but there was a foul called in the paint against Mackie Nelson that negated the basket.
Always tough when a 3 is taken off the board. It's such a big momentum swinger in the women's game, but a really good job by Marissa Russell. But to me, Jen, that's why the half court feels really constricted for Louisville, because they've not been able to knock down any shots from beyond the arc and spread the floor out to give their guards more ability to get to the rim.
Yeah, they really have not been able to get out and run. That'll help. From the corner, Curry is good. First triple of the game, Jada Curry now with 10.
Exactly what Louisville needed. They have to keep Virginia Tech honest. They're going to have to knock down some 3s to get back in this game.
Wenzel to the basket and one opportunity.
Carleigh Wenzel has taken such a big step in her game this year as we see that Jada Curry 3. Massive for Louisville, but I've been so impressed with Carleigh Wenzel. She averaged just 4.2 points per game last season. She's up till around 14 points per game. And she's always been this talented. She was just playing behind Georgia Amoore. And when you're behind Georgia Amoore, you're not going to see as many minutes or as many buckets, obviously, but she has been great in her redshirt sophomore season.
You saw how quickly Louisville just got up and down the floor. You just talked about the fact that they have not had many looks like that. Will that be something that helps get them going as Roberts picked up the field goal, her first of the game. She has 4 points.
They're coming alive on offense, Jim, but they have to get stops. That's first and foremost. They have to start playing better on the defensive end.
Petersen made it look easy. Hard to come back when you're trading baskets, and that's what's happened these last couple possessions for Louisville. Hokies have made 4 of their last 5 from the floor. And one thing, too, and one thing you were looking for in this game, Kelly, was would Louisville be able to bring their defense, force some steals, get some steals, force some turnovers, and for the most part, Virginia Tech has done really well in that department, just 9 turnovers in the game.
When you handle the ball against Louisville, you have a chance. That's rule number 1. You have to take care of the basketball. And then everything comes off of that. And you see the defensive intensity that Virginia Tech has brought with the 5-second violation. They're getting contributions from all over the bench. Kayl Petersen, the freshman, her 6 points are her most in an ACC game this season. I've been very impressed with her minutes.
You think this Virginia Tech team took some pride in that 5-second call there defensively? I think they just hit a big 3 the way their hands were all up in the air. It tells you something about this group. Petersen, there's the 3. Largest lead of the game now for the Hokies, up 12.
Megan Duffy lost her mind when Kayl Petersen hit that 3.
Got to get back on defense. Harris able to hit for Louisville.
And again, Louisville's pushing the pace. They're getting better looks on offense, but it all is going to come down to if they can get stops.
And they spent a lot of time on defense today in shoot-around. Virginia Tech's bench called the timeout. So the referees did come over as both players were unwilling to let go of the ball initially. We'll take it.
Her last points came on January 2nd against Florida State. and she is having a great game this afternoon. Virginia Tech with some foul trouble. She's playing more minutes than normal. This is what you want to see from your young freshman, Jen. When their number's called, how do they respond? And she's responded in a big way.
Absolutely, especially here in this third quarter. 7 of her 9 points in this quarter for Virginia Tech. 8 seconds on the shot clock. White doesn't need them.
The three ball can be such a differentiator. If you're Virginia Tech, you've made 5. Louisville's just made 1. Massive difference in this ball game.
Saw Kayla King, former Virginia Tech Hokie, Olivia Somio also here along with Liz Kitley. King knows a thing or two about what those threes can do to light up this crowd. Russell, she's played so big for this Louisville team today. White there defending, 4 on the shot clock. Curry has to hurry. And the rebound to Lani White's playing some inspired basketball here these last few seconds. Shot clock is off, under 20 to go in the third. The best quarter of the game for both teams statistically in terms of points. 24 points in the quarter for Virginia Tech, 18 for Louisville, who are trying to claw their way back. Curry uses the screen, a long 3, won't go. But though you certainly don't discount what this Louisville team is capable of. They've struggled to get in much of a rhythm. Foul trouble has been an issue for both teams. Curry is really doing some defending, but she gets called for the foul, and that is her 4th. So what does Jeff Walls do here? Looks like he's trusting Curry to stay out there, needs her on the floor.
To make a comeback, I think you got to leave her out there and just trust her to not put her hand on the defender. I'm not sure there was a foul on that situation, but the refs are calling it tight.
And technically you are only allowed that 1 measure up, hot stove touch as they call it, foul, and after that you can't put your hands on the ball handler as a defender. That foul was on Russell, it's her 3rd. She's been a big catalyst for Louisville this afternoon. 9 points, 5 rebounds in the first half off the bench.
That's 2 quick fouls for Louisville. And of course, when you get to 5, the other team's shooting free throws. For a team that's trying to get back in it, down 13, you cannot afford to put Virginia Tech in the bonus.
And a Virginia Tech team that ranks 2nd in the conference, they make 14 free throws a game. They're 3rd in terms of percentage, about 77% as a team. Good defense being played here, though, by Louisville. Have to be careful not to foul. 2.3 seconds on the shot clock. But where did this go off of? Looked like Lani White tried to throw it off of the Louisville defender. And she succeeded in doing that. 2 seconds with which to work. Officials may go over and look at that last play. And as they do so,
the game clock and shot clock are under review for potential malfunctions. Sends us to the media timeout.
Notre Dame proving they can win without Hannah Hidalgo in that big-time matchup Thursday against Georgia Tech. See if they're without her once again today. And just a little bit of an adjustment there you can see on the clock. 3.4 on the shot clock, 9:06 on the game clock for Virginia Tech. And then the quick shot taken. Good defense by Louisville.
Really good job by Louisville, out of a timeout to execute defensively. And they've got to start scoring. They got the stops. We've talked about getting stops, but they've got to find a way to claw back in this basketball game.
Cochran is not in the game at the moment. Roberts able to keep that ball alive. She does have 4 fouls. Inside to Istanbulolu.
Great pass from Jalea Williams. And good movement on that play by Louisville. And Jalea Williams back in the action with a steal.
Look at the effort defensively. Williams not afraid to go after it. And then they're going to call a foul here. At least that was initially the call, but then the officials conferring. They say there was a travel on Taj Roberts first.
I would have loved to see Taj Roberts take that three. She had an open, good look from three. Take that. That's the type of momentum that Louisville needed.
Eck well off the mark on that three-point attempt. Did hit one in the third quarter. Talk about some speed. Jalea Williams picking things up right now for Louisville.
She's pushing the pace. She's being aggressive, attacking the rim. Jalea Williams needs to keep that energy for the rest of this quarter.
And she's shown she's not afraid to go after it. She's playing with 2 fouls. So that's something we need to obviously keep an eye on for both teams. White with the drive.
Just as Louisville was gaining some momentum, that's a big bucket by Lani White.
Russell left it on the front of the rim. Again, the defense had that play well covered. Resulted in a turnover by the Hokies. And this can't be one of those moments where things start to unravel a little bit. Megan Duffy not wanting her team to let Louisville back in this game. You think about their game on Thursday, it was really the third quarter that did the Hokies in against Virginia. An excellent effort from the Cavaliers to win the game, but just some moments where they seemed to lose their way. Turned the ball over, gave up some easy possessions on the other end. Wenzel gets all the way to the basket, and then Cochran held her position, held on to the rebound.
When you're trying to put a team like Louisville away, you've got to make those layups.
Wide open look for 3 from Curry. Bounces out without a touch from anybody, so Virginia Tech will have it.
It has been such a tough shooting night for Louisville. 1 for 13 from 3. They shoot about 30% on the year, but for a player like Jada Curry to be 1 for 7, she is such a better shooter than that. It's just been a tough night, and you have to think of the difference. If one or two of those threes goes in for Jada Curry, it feels like a different game right now.
Virginia Tech breaks the initial pressure. Trap, though, still hovering around the ball handler. Nelson to White. Baker open in the corner. A little off balance, though. And Misha, after the play, just picks up her 4th foul. First team foul of the quarter for Virginia Tech.
Coach Duffy putting a lot of faith in the young freshman, Cal Petersen, coming in for Rose Misha, who just picked up that 4th foul. And yeah, that's Jada Curry with a good box out on Rose Misha. Rose just has to let that ball go and live to play another play.
Petersen, 7 of her 9 points in the third quarter to help the Hokies. Williams is going to try to make the freshman defend.
That is Louisville's best offense. Jalea Williams, head down, getting to the rim.
Williams, a transfer from Miami, coming off her first career double-double. 11 points, season-high 10 rebounds in Louisville's win against Syracuse on Thursday. That's a turnover. Back to Louisville it goes.
As a player, you've got to be aware that the officials are calling that. They're calling travels on the catch, so you have to make sure your footwork is tight because they want to call that today, so you got to be aware.
14th turnover by the Hokies. Cards creeping back into the game. Williams, the last-second dish to Harris.
It's like Jalea Williams has just turned up her speed, right, in this 4th quarter. She said, it's time for me to go. And she's got Louisville creeping back into this game.
And you can send Virginia Tech led by as many as 13 in the third.
For Virginia Tech on offense, I think it's got to be Carleigh Wenzel time. I'd love to see Virginia Tech try to get a look for her. She's been your most consistent offensive player throughout this season.
White has been the best three-point option in this game for sure, as the best percentage on the team for the season, about 48%. Curry comes to get it for Louisville. Williams, can anybody stop her? Well, the defense can. They were ready for the pass that time.
Great job by Mackie Nelson. She waited for that pass and was able to get it. Carleigh Wenzel's got to take that layup, Jen.
There was
I stopped
nobody.
talking because I didn't know what to say. I couldn't believe she passed up that layup.
There was a bit of stunned silence in the arena as well. I mean, you understand game management as Petersen knocks it down. Well, hey, maybe that's what they were waiting for, Kayl.
Have yourself a ball game, Kayl Petersen, tying her career high. The freshman's going to remember this one for a long time, Jen.
12 points in the game, couple of threes adding to that total. Harris going to work. Timeout on the floor. Louisville called the timeout.
Virginia Tech sharing the basketball. Almost like Louisville kind of forgot about Kayl Petersen, 33% three-point shooter on the season, and then Nyla Harris goes right at Petersen. That's a great finish there, but we've talked about this with Louisville, the trading baskets. That's kind of what the whole second.
That early timeout with the clock situation, so you might get some of those coach-called timeouts. And that's going to be a quick foul against Williams. That's her third.
That's her third personal foul. 13 foul.
And she has been so important for this Louisville team on the comeback they have been making on both ends.
She has, and she's putting her hands down, knowing she can't foul right here as she's trying to slow down Carleigh Wenzel.
Eck puts it on the floor. Up and not quite in. Who else with the rebound but Petersen? Steps back, three. Short.
You get the offensive rebound, you get a fresh 20. I know Petersen has shot the ball well, but in that situation, kick the ball back out, run some more offense.
Louisville needs some points on this end. Curry delivers.
Jada Curry, if she gets enough looks, she is going to knock him down. Massive shot from Curry.
And just the second made three of the game for the Cardinals. They're 2 of 14 from beyond the arc. Wenzel again looking for a better option. Wants the three over the two.
She's got to shoot that ball. I know the coaches are going to look at this film with her after this game and point that out. I know she's trying to find her teammates, but the unselfish play there is to score.
Crowd getting loud on this end of the floor. 10 to shoot for Louisville. Curry. Big offensive rebound pulled down by Harris. She goes to the basket. No. Stays here with the Cardinals. Misha back on the floor for Virginia Tech. Playing with 4 fouls. She has 4. Curry has 4 for Louisville.
Misha has to be careful. Her team needs her on the floor for these last 2.5 minutes.
And Louisville would say the same about Curry as well.
Same for Jada Curry.
Shot from the corner. Yes! How about that? From the freshman, Tajiana Roberts. Was it a 2 or a 3 from Robert? Advantage in this quarter. Still a 1-possession game. And Louisville's going to force this Virginia Tech team to really earn it now in these final couple of minutes.
And Virginia Tech has to take care of the basketball. That's first and foremost. They spent most of shoot-around today working on their press break and taking care of the ball.
Nelson driving against Cochran. Louisville will take that possession defensively. Cardinals have never led in this game. A 3 here could tie it. Three hasn't exactly been in their favor, but Roberts gets the offensive rebound from Cochran to make it a 1-point game.
And that's 15 offensive rebounds for Louisville. They haven't had as many second chance points, but they have been working on the offensive glass, and it pays off.
.130 to play in Castle Coliseum, a game Virginia Tech has never trailed in jeopardy. On the day they hung Liz Kitley's jersey from the rafters. She is right there at the baseline watching this game. She's been getting this crowd fired up all day long. But Cochran committing the foul here for Louisville. There is Kitley, Olivia Semiel, Kayla King sitting down next to her, and their former teammate Carleigh Wenzel on the free throw line. Wenzel, a 74% free throw shooter on the season.
And finally, Wenzel kept the ball and took it herself, right? Called her own number, got to the rim. That's what we've been calling for this whole fourth quarter. It was a great play.
Just a second foul on Cochran. Fourth team foul, though, on Louisville. So their next one, Virginia Tech will be shooting. Back to a 3-point advantage for Virginia Tech. Hokies have won 3 in a row in the series against the Cardinals. Curry with the drive. Off the front of the rim. This time it's Virginia Tech with the rebound. Curry. What is the call here? There's a player down. Matilda Eck down on the floor, on the baseline. That was what the stoppage was called for. I certainly hope Matilda Eck is okay. Didn't see exactly what happened to her, but the officials immediately blowing the whistle.
No foul was called. They just stopped the play for the injured player. It was just a big scrum, and Matilda Eck almost just went flying, kind of they're trying to grab a rebound, and I think she landed awkwardly.
She's on the bottom of your screen there.
It was almost, she just, yeah. Oh, there's the collision with Nyla Harris. Yeah.
Yeah, knees might have collided as the two came together along the baseline.
It was a great defensive possession from Virginia Tech to get the stop, and Rose Mishaw with a really good defensive play to not foul and contest the shot.
Matilda Eck played last year, obviously with Liz Kitley. You could see the concern on Liz's face as she says she's going to continue to be this team's #1 fan, but this is another challenge now for Virginia Tech to try to manage Kelly. 52 seconds left, 3-point lead. They do have the ball.
Got to take care of the ball. Know that Louisville's 1 foul from a bonus. Be aggressive, attack the rim. After using most of the shot clock, Jen. I hope that was obvious.
Gonna get Cochran for the foul here. 14 seconds were left on the shot clock, so this, as you mentioned, is going to put Virginia Tech on the free throw line.
And I know Louisville hasn't been thrilled with the fouls that have been called in this game, but in that possession, you just have to decide we're going to defend without fouling. You've got to find a way, because just putting this team on the free throw line and not really making them make a play is brutal for Louisville.
Virginia Tech, 14 of 20, now 15 of 21 from the free throw line today. They have gotten there, they've taken advantage, their lead grows to 5. Now where does Louisville go? Williams has been the catalyst for this Louisville team, count it! How about that as a way to get 3 when the 3 hasn't been falling for you today?
I love fourth quarter Jalea Williams. Jalea Williams will not be denied. When everyone else is tired, she just continues to push through, getting to the rim whenever she wants.
6 points in this quarter for Jalea Williams. Free throw not there, but Harris will say she was bumped as she was going for the rebound. Timeout called. So Virginia Tech can advance the ball if they'd like. We will send you out to Notre Dame after this one. Irish hosting SMU to finish off our quadruple header here on ACCN. There's a chance for the steal. Louisville going for it. Foul is called. They wanted a jump ball, but 3 different Louisville players are there. Who's the guilty party? I think it's Cochran. It's her 4th.
And you're right, Jen. Olivia Cochran almost had that steal. She was so close.
And Cochran has actually picked up 3 fouls in this quarter. Had just 1 in the first 3 quarters of the game. You can see the frustration written pretty clearly on her face. And Karis Baker has been quiet most of this game, but 76% free throw shooter on the season, and even better in ACC play, 87%. That first one, probably the most important one, making it a 2-possession game. Louisville just trying to get to the basket. No foul called on the play. Nelson has it now. Curry commits her 5th foul. She's done. And Virginia Tech's going back to the free throw line. I don't know, Kelly. Felt like a lot of contact on that last drive. The way that this game has been called, little surprise there wasn't anything there, but
if I would sum up this game in one phrase, it would be felt like a lot of contact. This game has been so physical inside, and obviously through the foul totals you can see that, but it has been very physical both ways.
So Curry will foul out on that last play. 13 points in the game, hit a couple of threes, the only 2 threes in fact that Louisville hit in the game. So Louisville will get that sorted out. Curry goes off, Arenas comes on. Let's see, Amanda Butler, former Clemson head coach, now in Jeff Walls' staff at Louisville. They're next to Curry. Those 2 have really developed a great relationship this year. Here's the play. That was the foul, I guess, because Curry was the player.
She was trying to foul. I'm not sure she actually did.
Nelson at the free throw line looking to seal the deal for the Hokies. A team who Charlie Cream says is one of the last teams in at the moment. Does that change if they pick up a win against Louisville today? Cards will call a timeout. They'll advance the basketball as well. But when the 3 hasn't been falling, Kelly, and Jake
Ford fouls at this point. Giving up a 2 is fine, a 3 contested, but obviously do not foul.
Still 13.8 seconds left. SMU Notre Dame coming up next. Cochran, you can tell she's looking for the 3. There it is. Roberts is fouled on the 3-point attempt.
And that's why I emphasize do not foul. Great job by Taj Roberts to draw the foul, and this makes it a little more interesting, a little more complicated, which is what we love and what always happens in the final couple minutes of a close basketball game.
Now, obviously, she's going to try to make the first, Kelly. doesn't, but what happens here? Is there any thought of, you just take the point? Do you hopefully try to miss, try to get an offensive rebound? Any thought of that?
He has 3 free throws, so the
Oh,
third
yeah,
one.
thanks. We do have 3.
It depends if Jeff Walz has practiced this, which I'm sure he has. I think you just make it.
And she doesn't, but then it stays here. It's batted out of play by Virginia Tech.
And back to that, Jen, one of the toughest things to do as a player is to miss a free throw on purpose. It's really difficult to do. So as a young freshman, if you haven't, and a lot of coaches probably don't necessarily work on that. It's a lot to ask of a young freshman to miss it just perfectly.
So 1 point out of a possible 3, but the basketball back for Louisville here. Shot from the corner. Williams got the rebound. Out to Arenas for 3. No. That 3 has just not fallen today for Louisville, and it is the Cards who go down at the hands of Virginia Tech.
And what a game by Virginia Tech.